Hey guys, Eric Roll here for Flute Spot. Today I'm going to talk about double tonguing. I struggled early on with double tonguing, and I'm going to give you how I got to be successful at it and my journey to get there, and I'll give you the ticket to help your double tonguing improve almost dramatically. So, first of all, when I was beginning my double tonguing early on, I was told to use phrases such as taka taka or dugga dugga or even tiki tiki tiki, and I had some struggles with that. And let me go through it. And I didn't understand why I struggled with it, but then later on I did understand why, and maybe I'll explain why, and you'll have the same problems that I had, and this will help you out. So, with the dugga dugga, now that is a common one with the brass players, but I found that when we want to fast articulation, it needs to be very crisp. And the D and the G just doesn't give us that crispness that we need. So dugga, 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 dugga is kind of a soft start. We need something very crisp and short. Now I tried the taka taka, but it gave me the crisp beginning for the ta and the ka. But what I noticed is that two things. First, when I was doing it, the way I was moving my tongue within that ta and ka, I was hearing these slight little variations of pitch in there, a little change in timbre, and those drove me nuts. My teacher didn't quite hear them until I slowed it down for her, and she's like, okay, yeah, it is there. And I don't know if anybody else had that, but it was enough to drive me nuts crazy within that. The other part that I noticed, that I figured out much later on, is that when you say taka taka, there is no end. It's just ta. There's no definite end to that syllable. Or the ka. Where does the syllable actually end? And when you're playing fast, short notes, you have to have a very precise beginning and end. And we want to make them as short as possible. Because if you have, let's say, a note that's 16 note that's this long, and you put 16 of them together, your measure's looking huge. But if you can get it like way, paper thin, then the whole measure will be very short. So that's what I was going for. Eventually, the thing that helped me, the ticket that helped me go through and improve mine nearly dramatically and almost instantaneously is ticket. Yes, ticket is the ticket to the double tonguing. And here's why. Okay, when you have the ta and the ka, all right, we've already established that gives us a good beginning. But when you go through and say the word tick, notice how where the tongue ends when you say tick. Now, say kit. Notice where the tongue begins and where it ends. So tick ends where the K of the kit is going to begin, and the kit, the tongue ends where the T is going to begin. So you're actually having a very beginning tick, a beginning and end to that syllable, and then the ket is the beginning and the end of that syllable. So it makes a very definite beginning and end. The other part is that the tongue ends here on the ket, or the tick, sorry, the tick is right where your tongue needs to be for the ket, and then the T here, ket, the tongue ends right where this begins. So it's very cross-sympathetic, I guess you can say. It goes through. So it worked very good. And I thought, okay, I'm being weird with this and all this, until I got to study with one of the players for the Houston Symphony, Kathy LeGrand. And we talked about a little bit about double tonguing, and she said, yeah, you just use ticket. And I'm like, okay, I'm not being weird. This does work. And later on, I come to figure out why, because, the beginning, the end, there was no syllable, the dipping of the tongue causing any of the pitch problems within it, and it just, I can go fast with that. Ticket, 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 ticket. So when I first started using ticket, literally, almost instantaneously, my double tonguing speed doubled. It actually doubled and almost tripled simply within that. So as you're going through with your double tonguing, if you have the same issues that I did, try ticket. Ticket is the ticket for double tonguing. Eric Rule for Flute Spot. See you next time.